One of the things in World of Warcraft that I love is collecting, but over the years I've missed a lot, from old content to new. However, we're going to change that, one zone at a time. Here is Kreete, our lone Tauren Druid. In this adventure, he'll be locked to a zone until he 100% everything currently obtainable. Picking up from last time, Kreete is now level 25 and just arriving in Orgrimmar, ready to set off into Durotar. We had one final quest from Mulgore we can hand in before we can see what awaits for us in Durotar. Heading out of Orgrimmar, we can see what all the things tells us we need to collect. It looks like a lot at first glance. There is a lot of quests needed here, both the Orc and Troll starting zones and the entirety of Durotar. A few bits we can't do like heritage armor and achievements. There is a vendor with items we need, however this is locked behind the starting legion, so we'll have to come back for that. There is some war campaign stuff that we might get to in BFA. So we start out and I do check if I can find Ragefire on the Echo Isles. However, after some googling, she's only there after starting Legion. So we start out the zone by doing the Orc quest in the Valley of Trials. Silly enough, this is where we first start to feel the lack of gear, but we make it through the starting quests. Before starting in Sen'jin Village, I check to see if I can do the Troll starting zone, and turns out I can. I just haven't made a Troll in years, so I have no idea where to start. Now we can continue in Sen'jin Village. This is where being a druid might have been a bad idea. Moonfire is too fun to press, and I overpulled and died. This will not be the last time, as I never learnt my lesson, as not long after in Tiragard Keep, I did the exact same thing and died again. And again in Dustwing Cave. I take a break from dying as I finally reached level 30 and now I can freeze my XP gains so I don't outlevel any future content. Right back to dying as Skull Rock still takes lives in retail WoW. Shortly after, I have completed all quests in the zone and I'm ready to move on. However, there is one challenge left in Durotar, and that is the very nearby dungeon of Ragefire Chasm. Be prepared as I'm going to die a lot. Firstly, we have two items to get. The Grasp of the Broken Totem from the second boss, and the Fire-worn Robes from the third. So let's start this off as quickly as it ends. I enter the dungeon, accept the quests, and attempt the first mobs. Find it quite easy, then pull the second. Before killing any of them, I die. We try it again, but this time I use my Entangling Roots, but die again as I didn't heal myself. I throw myself back at it again, and with good use of my roots, I actually managed to kill them. First back down, lots more to go. The next pack of slightly bigger dogs are less of a challenge, but with how quickly I lose health, I decided to switch it up to Guardian to help out with survivability. This is coming from someone who doesn't really know how to play Guardian. My first attempt at Guardian was going well, but very slow. While that's good, the next mobs kill me within seconds of pulling. I try again, and this time it lasts a little bit longer before dying again. At this point, I'm officially struggling. I die again after trying to play it more cautious, and this is when my gear is now quite broken and leave to repair. Now you might think this is cheating, but it ties into what I've already considered. While playing, I've been herbing and mining and selling it on the auction house to get some money in case an item was too hard to get and I would have to buy it instead. Great idea. While I think the trash in Ragefire is a justification enough to get a little bit better gear, or else we won't even reach the first boss. So we head to the auction house and pick up a few pieces of gear to carry us along a bit. Because I'm only level 30, a lot of the better gear was quite expensive for transmog reasons, so I wasn't able to get much. Now armed a little bit better, let's try that again. That back I died twice on before, I killed easily, albeit slowly. I switched back to balance to attempt the first boss as I was worried I would run out of self-healing before killing the boss. However, I did exactly that as balance. To try out all avenues, we tried Feral, and that was a washout in about 10 seconds. Unsure if this was a lack of gear or just user error. So back to Guardian I went, and nearly 5 minutes later, I defeated the boss without dying. What an achievement. Shame I didn't get any loot to make the dungeon easier. Getting to the next boss was quite simple as balance, so we decided to try the boss as balance. The fight was quite simple, heal occasionally, move out of the circle, and damage as much as I could. After doing this for 2 minutes, the boss was down, with again, no loot. The next boss was a similar situation, move out of the fire, which did require you to move just before it was cast, which I didn't quite get on this first run. After 4 minutes, the boss went down and again, no loot. Final boss time and he was rough. Balance wouldn't cut it at all. So we switched to Guardian and got him down to 11% before running out of cooldowns. Annoyed, I tried it again, being sure to be extra cautious and aware of my cooldowns, even jumping out of bear form to heal myself a bit, and I managed to kill him after about 4 minutes. I finally got lucky and the Heart Boiler staff dropped. Not a needed item, but a sorely needed upgrade. Now is where I change it up. Using a second account, I invite myself to a group and the higher level character enters a dungeon first, causing the loot to become legacy loot. This allows for loot to pull from the whole table, meaning I can get a bit more and items that my class can't normally use. The second run was a lot easier. I started the first boss on balance, and with my upgraded weapon I was able to take the boss down easily, and even got rewarded with some new legs. Between the first and second boss, I died because I thought with all this new gear I could kill them faster than they could kill me. I was wrong. On to the second boss, where the first needed item comes from. Again, a super simple boss, and was able to kill him easily, and the grasp of the broken totem dropped. On to the second needed boss. Unfortunately, I lost my luck here and nothing important dropped. Instead of killing the last boss again, I opted to reset the dungeon and stealth back to Slagmaw to attempt the boss straight away. Again, easy fight now, and this attempt was all that was needed to collect the Fireworn robes. And that's Ragefire Chasm completed, and along with it, Durotar. We end Durotar with a few quests only available to specific races, and 2 that are outside of Durotar. A vendor which requires Legion, and the BFA war campaign. Ragefire has nothing else to collect apart from linen cloth needed for a mage quest. That puts us at 97.22% for Ragefire and 81.72% for Durotar. To pick our next zone, we will randomly pick between connecting zones, only counting zones in Kalimdor and ignoring the connection between Morgor and Southern Barrens. This only leaves Ajara and Northern Barrens. So let's find out where we're going next. Looks like we're heading to the Northern Barrens. This ends the part of the journey, and now we venture into the rest of Kalimdor, starting with the Barrens.